Yo, what's up, you guys? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby. And I got some sauce for you. I was in the laboratory all day, bro. Cooking up some recipes. Man, fooling around, testing, drawing random hands, just practicing, just building all day, bro. I've been grinding. And I'm so tired. I haven't got sleep since, like, I don't even know. But today, I want to showcase to you guys the best FTK deck of the format. The deck that has proven itself over time, has had positive results, impactful results, and has proven to be the most consistent FTK deck and the only FTK strategy that actually survived the ban list and can still FTK. All the other FTK strategies got murdered, you know, and, you know, new ones come out the woodworks here and there. You know, there's still a way to FTK with Infernities. You know, it's still possible that there's a Danger Dark World FTK. But see, the thing is, none of those decks can do it the way that Gym Knights do it. And this is a proven fact. Gym Knights is the most consistent FTK deck, period, bro. I've done test hands to prove the deck. I've dueled to prove the deck. I took the deck to regionals, got 10th place with it just to prove that this deck really is consistent. I've FTK'd every single time, unless they had negations, but every time I open up with the FTK, this deck is really consistent. It does one thing really well, but it can also extra link. So without further ado, I'm going to hop into my list, you guys. I'm going to explain my card choices, but I'm going to lay out the monsters first, and then we're going to go over a little detailed discussion on them. That won't take long at all. So starting off with the start of the deck, we're playing triple Block Dragon. Next up, we have 3 Rescue Rabbits. These are the MVPs, right? These are cards you absolutely need to see. Next up, we have the Plant Engine. We have triple Lone Fire Blossom. So I'm going to put Lone Fire here, put my Rabbits here, and then my Block Dragons here. And then next up, we have Predaplant, Ophiris, Scorpio, and then the break that comes with him. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our Gym Armadillo. I'm laying out my monsters, and then I'll go ahead and explain, you know, a little bit interactions, some synergy that they have with each other, and, you know, what's more important to open up with. Then we have triple Obsidian. We have triple Gym Knight Lazuli. We have triple Gym Knight Tourmaline, 1 Lapis, and 1 Crystal Rose. So we're going to start with from the bottom to the top. So Crystal Rose is pivotal to this deck strategy and a huge focal part of the FTK. Because this card is a level 2 and it is a rock, it allows you to resolve your Block Dragon in a way that you need to resolve it. Because the other way you would have to resolve it would be searching a Lazuli, and then a level 3 rock being Lapis or Obsidian, and then a level 4 rock being Gym Knight Armadillo. And that's not going to be very good if you've already normal summoned and you don't have the ability to go into your Seraphonite and waste resources just to summon him. So playing this card allows you to resolve Block Dragon in the way that you prefer. You want to search this guy, Lapis, and an Obsidian off your Block Dragon, and that's going to get you your FTK. Also, Crystal Rose is a really powerful extender in this deck. It's always going to be a +2. Keep that in mind, a +2 whenever you resolve this card on your turn. I normally like to go into my Seraphonite to normal summon this guy for the extra normal, mill my Lazuli, grab a normal from grave to hand, link it off or fuse it off, and then banish to summon it back from the grave. Use this effect, send another Lazuli, so you net 2 free cards off of it, and it summons itself and gets summoned to the field and used as fodder and extender multiple times. So it's a really powerful card. It's the reason why I don't play Desires in this list. Then we have Lapis. You need Lapis to go into Lapis Lazuli, so she's important and pivotal to the FTK. I play the Tourmalines over the Garnets because this deck has to be able to go second. And if need be, you have to be able to out certain cards. You need to be able to break boards, and Prismara is a really good card for that because you can actually abuse Prismara as well as your Master Diamond, so you can out multiple cards. You can also just shuffle your Prismara back with your Phantom Quartz to summon Zirconia using Prismara and another a rock monster, and you can summon Prismara again and then pop another card. So just playing Tourmalines allows you to break boards. It also gives you an extra name and a different kind of type so that you can summon Curios for your bad hand so that you can mill your Block Dragon and get your win condition on the board. Next, we have 3 Gym Knight Lazuli. Lazuli is arguably just as important as your Rose and your Lapis because Lazuli is how you're going to be doing the FTK for the most part. When you're opening, unless you have 5 Gym Knight monsters, you know, 4 Gym Knight, four good cards and like 1 good extender to go into your Phantom Quartz and a way to get your Block Dragon, Lazuli is the way that you can win. What Lazuli does is it adds a normal monster from your grave to your hand when it's sent to the grave by a card effect. That effect is not once per turn, and how we do the FTKs, we actually abuse Lazuli 5 times. In the combo sequence of your first turn, you're going to be using this effect 5 times. You're going to use it 3 times, you're going to recycle 2, you're going to put those 2 back into your deck, and you're going to send those 2 again. you're going to continue to reuse the same one monster or the same two monsters. That's why you don't need to play a lot of vanillas. You only play the 3 tourmalines because you need a target for your rescue rabbit, and that's the best target in my opinion. So yeah, 3 Lazuli. Next up is our Gym Knight Obsidian. Gym Knight Obsidian is arguably the best Gym Knight name extender. Now, Crystal Rose is not a Gym Knight name, but it works for the archetype. But Obsidian's the best Gym Knight name extender with the name Gym Knight in it, because what it does is it summons a vanilla from the graveyard if it's sent from the hand to the graveyard. So what that does is it sets you up to get more special summon monsters on the field for your burn increments, for your Lapis Lazuli, which is your win condition. In addition to that, it allows you to bust boards wide open going second, play through disruptions, chain block, because you can add a new way that I played it on Ash Blossom is I actually started fusion summoning with Gym Knight Fusion using Obsidian and Block Dragon on the field, using Block Dragon as Chain Link 1 and Obsidian as Chain Link 2 targeting for cost. Since I don't have Nightmare Goblin anymore, I found a new way to chain block with this deck to make Ash Blossom absolutely useless against this deck, in addition to the 5 ways we have to stop hand traps when we get to that. So Obsidian is really powerful, and there's a lot of ways you can abuse this card, but it sets you up for more link summons, it sets you up for more fusion summons, it gives you more follow-ups, it does so much. So Obsidian and Lazuli, you're absolutely going to be using these so many times in the same progression of 1 turn. It's actually ridiculous, and they are not once per turns. Next up, we have the Stratos of the archetype. I'll go ahead and slide these out. So we have the Stratos of the archetype being Gym Armadillo. It is not a Gym Knight, but it is a Gym monster. That's important because your Link monster, Phantom Quartz, actually can be summoned by using any 2 Gym monsters. Crystal Rose itself can actually turn itself into a Gym Knight, which is really cool. But what he does is one thing. When he's normal summon, he adds a Gym Knight monster from your deck to your hand. This is your Stratos. I maximize on this card because he is a combo piece for your FTK. Okay? There's a bad hand FTK, and when I say bad hand, it's a bad hand FTK. When you have Armadillo, Unexpected Die, and either Gym Knight Fusion or a Lazuli. With those 3 cards, you can do the FTK. You're going to end up summoning Curios, okay? And you're going to end up dumping your Block Dragon, and you're going to end up just resolving Block Dragon. You're going to go bananas. Like in the random cards, it doesn't even really matter. But Gym Armadillo is really important. I absolutely need to maximize on this card. I know a lot. In fact, nearly every Gym Knight FTK deck profile that I've seen does not maximize on Armadillo, and I feel that that is a mistake because you want to increase the number of cards that equal into the FTK. Believe it or not, this deck has over 48 different 2-card combinations and 3-card combinations that all result in one thing: over 9,000 damage. I'm sorry, exactly 9,000 damage. That is an FTK with an Upstart Goblin, my brother. So that's really good, and it's important to maximize on your FTK combo pieces. Because he is an FTK combo piece, that's why you play him at 3. Next up, we have our Plant Engine, your Lone Fire, and your Predaplant. These cards are very pivotal as well. You can win without them, but they are definitely the epitome and definition of win more cards. What they do is give you access to 6 extra copies. Can I reiterate that? Can I reiterate that for a second? 6 extra copies of your Gym Knight Fusion or your Brilliant Fusion access in your main deck at all given times just by resolving these. You can still get an extra normal summon off your Seraphonite, so don't ever feel that you're wasting your normal summon. But what you want to do for the most part is you want to actually search out your Brilliant Fusion. Get your Block Dragon, summon your Zirconia, get your Block Dragon from your deck to your grave, resolve your Block Dragon, you're going to win. Brilliant Fusion plus any gym is an FTK. Did you know that Unexpected Die plus a plant is an FTK? Of course you need a monster to discard, but keep in mind, how many monsters am I playing, bro? More than half of my deck, more than 3/4 of my deck is monsters, so you don't ever have to worry about that. So Unexpected Die plus a plant is an FTK. A Fusion plus a plant is an FTK. Plant plus Rescue Rabbit is an FTK. Plant plus nearly anything, even Block Dragon, is an FTK. Like, it's crazy how fast and how consistent this deck does that one thing, FTK. I've even shown you guys that this deck can X-Link. Videos to prove it, test hands to prove it. Next, we have the stars of the deck. We have Block Dragon and we have Rescue Rabbit. Resolving these cards gets you not only so much advantage, but the correct advantage that you need. Now, don't get me wrong, the plants are amazing and they do get the fusions for you. But resolving these cards is actually a lot more important than resolving your plants. Resolving Block Dragon is how you get the exact combo pieces. That's why I said the precise advantage that you want, the specifics. as well as Rescue Rabbit, because summoning Phantom Quartz can still search you Gem Knight Fusion just like your plants can, but it can also search you any Gem Knight card, which is very important because it searches out your monsters. So Rescue Rabbit is a little bit more flexible than the plants, but also at the same time, don't get me wrong, the plants search Brilliant Fusion, but on your certain hands, Rescue Rabbit can also summon Curios. Given if this plus a certain combination of one other card gives you Curios, which still sends your Block Dragon. So Rescue Rabbit is almost always better than the plant. And Block Dragon is actually Insanity, my friend. Insanity. This card's summoning condition is to banish 3 Earths from your hand, your field, or your graveyard. And you can summon it more than once per turn. The only hard once per turn effect of this card is if it's sent from the field to the grave, you can add up to 3 rock-type monsters from your deck to your hand, whose total levels combined equal 8. So remember when I was talking about Crystal Rose, Lapis, and Obsidian? Add those level up. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. So that's how you can resolve your Block Dragon. In addition to that, while on field, this card will protect you from a card like Ghost Ogre, which can kind of hurt, but not really. The specific hand traps that hurt this deck are actually Ghost Bell, Ash Blossom, and Drone Lockbird. Those 3 hand traps in particular. Impermanence is not even that good against this deck. Effect Veilers, not even that good against this deck. Ghost Ogre is probably the most horrible hand trap to play against this deck. And then I guess you could say Winter Cherries, but nobody ever plays the right Winter Cherries target. So this card can not only allow you to get your win condition, but it offers protection on the board, which is really cool when you're combating Thunder Dragons going second. Because if you drop this guy, their Titan can no longer out your cards because they can't be destroyed by card effects. And that's all rock-type monsters, including when I was playing the Barrier Statue build of this deck, summoning the Earth Barrier Statue next to a Baguska, protecting him from being destroyed by card effects and giving him that boost from Mrs. Radiant, which is really cool. Next up for our spells, we play triple Drag Down to the Grave. Triple Drag Down to the Grave and double Call by the Grave. These are your hand trap hate cards. So I felt that I did not want to play too many hand trap hate cards, all right? But I felt that I wanted to play enough. But at the same time, because these are not combo pieces, because they do not give you any progression in the trajectory that this deck is supposed to go, which is the FTK route, I felt that I didn't want to play triple Midfield Breaker, triple Call by, and triple Drag Down and double Call by. And at the same time, Midfield Breaker offers protection from the worst hand traps against this deck in the first place. Those are the worst hand traps, the hand traps that you can play around. You actually can play around these kinds of hand traps. So Midfield Breaker is not that good. It is really not. And I'm not just saying it just to say it. I'm actually saying it from experience. I piloted this deck at a competitive tier 2 level event. Infinite Impermanence was a very popular staple. I've seen it being used on me all the time. There wasn't one time that I lost to an Impermanence. And it's not even just to say it in a bragging mean. It's to say it to verify and confirm the fact that I'm speaking right now. Midfield Breaker is not that good of a card in this deck. These are all that you need. Drag Down hits Impermanence, it hits Veiler, it hits Ogre, it hits Cherries, it hits Ash. They should use the Ash on this just so that they don't have to reveal their cards, show you their hand. But this card is also not once per turn. But it hits Ash, it hits everything. It hits Evenly Matched. Okay, it hits Red Reboots. This card gives you knowledge, okay? You not only know what deck you're playing now, but you know if your opponent has an out or not. That's why I really wanted to bump this card to 3. In my last build, I played 2 and 2, but now I want to open with this. Because this deck has so many power plays. Imagine having a Rescue Rabbit and a plant, right? For your 2 normal summons, and the rest would be extenders that they don't want to go to the grave because Rose, Obsidian, all those other cards will trigger and get you something. They want to hit the cards that matter. So imagine having Rescue Rabbit and a plant in your hand. Do you really think your opponent can take both of those away from you with the Drag Down? No. And you're going to draw another card anyways. So this card is really good. It's really flexible. This is better than Call By. It's better than Midfield Breaker because it not only takes away the hand traps from them, but now you know if they have any more hand traps left. So if they have that one hand trap, which, you know, if it's Ash Blossom, they should Ash this. But if it's not Ash, you take away the hand trap from them and you proceed to FTK and you don't even ask for a response, okay? You just get in your zone and you kill them. So yeah, these are all you really need. These are the most important spells that aren't combo pieces in the deck. So yeah, these 5, I hope that I've explained thoroughly that these are all you need to play, okay? Next up, we have triple Unexpected Die. Unexpected Die is a really good combo piece. In fact, this is an FTK combo piece. This plus a myriad of different cards is an FTK. This plus Rabbit's an FTK. This plus a Plant's an FTK. Any of the plants. This plus Armadillo, as long as you have either an Obsidian or a Tourmaline. That's one of 6 cards is still an FTK. Like, it's crazy. Opening up with this plus Brilliant Fusion's FTK, like this always normally equals into a better hand once you have it. And it can even sometimes be the main way that you end up getting your FTK in the first place. Like, I've drawn this for my 5th card and was like, now I have the FTK. And now I have a way to bait out a hand trap and still FTK, chain block my Block Dragon, put him as Chain Link 1, Obsidian as Chain Link 2, Ash Blossom's irrelevant. Like, it's just crazy. Now, next up for the power spells, we have Brilliant Fusion and Gemnite Fusion. These cards are pivotal as well. In fact, your FTK, you're normally going to have either this or both of these. But no matter what, whenever you're FTKing, it's always with Gemnite Fusion. You have so many different ways to get to this card, but you still want to play it at 3 because opening with it means that now your searchers can be used on what? Your extenders, your other combo pieces, the cards that will allow you to play through hand traps. This deck can play through hand traps. This deck can chain block. It can set up the chain links accordingly, having turn player priority, resolving multiple spell speed 1 effects simultaneously, grants you the ability to call your chain links accordingly, and because you have priority, you get a chance to call your chain links before they respond. So yeah, this deck can play around hand traps, and I have done it. I'm not just saying stuff just to say it. And then we also have the Brilliant Fusion, which it is better to open with Brilliant Fusion than it is to open with Gemnite Fusion, simply because Brilliant Fusion will get you to your Phantom Quartz and your Block Dragon, which are 2 different cards that you really, really need for your FTK. So yeah, it's a lot better than Gemnite Fusion, but at the same time, there are a lot of hands where I've FTK'd without Brilliant because I've either opened with Block Dragon, I've either sent it off Curios, I've, you know, Foolish Burialed it. So many different ways you can FTK. And these are the last 2 spells in the deck, Foolish Burial and Soul Charge. Monster Reborn is not good enough. I feel that Soul Charge is just incredible. It's really, really good. What Soul Charge can do, especially if you end up in an awkward position where your opponent Ash Blossomed your Block Dragon, for example, and you are still able to resolve a Phantom Quartz or an Armadillo to search out your Lapis, what you can end up doing is making Lapis Lazuli and then Soul Charging, getting all the monsters that you need on field, and you can still burn for game, which is really good. So Soul Charge does help the deck a lot. That's why I felt like, yeah, it's counterintuitive sometimes because you banish a lot, but at the same time, when you have it in your hand, you know better. You manage your resources properly. You make sure that the cards you need to summon, you do not banish them. Next up for our extra deck, we have the King and the Queen of the deck. Okay, I play 1 of each. Then we have your win condition, Lapis Lazuli. You only need 2. You don't need 3. You only need 2. We have double Zirconia. 1 gets resolved off of your Brilliant Fusion. The second one comes up for the interaction that I had aforementioned previously in this profile when I mentioned using Gemnite Fusion to fuse with Obsidian and Block Dragon. What is that? A Gemnite and a what? And a rock. What does this say? Gemnite plus a rock. So that's how you can chain block with your Block Dragon, because you will be using Gemnite Fusion to summon Zirconia, using Obsidian and Block Dragon. Block Dragon will be sent from the field to the grave because you don't fuse with Block Dragon from hand. You fuse with him from field when you summon him. His effect can be set up as Chain Link 1, and Chain Link 2 can be set up as Obsidian. Obsidian will grab you your normal monster from your graveyard, and then Block Dragon will resolve, and you'll probably just win the duel after that, because now there's nothing left to Ash Blossom. They can Ash Blossom anything else after that, and it wouldn't matter. You're still going to kill them. So 2 and 2. Next up, our 1 Prismara and our 1 Seraphinite. Prismara is really good at 1 because you can actually abuse it in so many ways because of your Link monster and because of Master Diamond. Because don't get it twisted, bro. This deck is a really, really powerful OTK deck. In fact, sometimes it's easier to OTK than it is to FTK, especially because of how long the FTK takes. The FTK is naturally a 15 to 20 minute combo, to be honest. No lie, bro. So if you're in like a game 1 or 2 situation where you still have 1 more game to go, instead of being a cheap, you know, like a kind of like in a way taking advantage of in-match procedures and wasting all the time to FTK them, you should just give your opponent a fair chance. Just OTK them so that way both of you guys have a fair chance to win in game 3. I don't really like to play that way. Like, I don't really take advantage of in-match procedures. Even when I played with this deck, when that rule was implemented and I had the FTK but also could OTK, I chose to OTK because it was faster. That way my opponent, and I always respect my opponent would have a fair chance in game 3 to still win. I mean, I do play to win, but also I want it to be a fair game. I'm not going to cheat you out of your win. I'm not about to waste time and do a 15-minute combo when we have 13 minutes left and just win anyways, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, again, back to what I was saying, Prismara really helps the OTK a lot. It does. It's a really strong card. And the ammunition you discard is always Gemnite Fusion because you add it back and then you can pitch it again. And Seraphinite, because this replaces Goblin, A second normal summon for the FTK really does help, and it helps in more ways than one. It really helps to, one, play through specific hand traps, being Ghost Bell, and also what's it called? I'm trying to think of it. Gamma. There we go. Gamma and Ghost Bell. You can play through those by getting the second normal summon. And Gamma's also not really that great against this deck. It's really not. And it's declined in popularity as well. And while you can't call by Gamma, you can drag down it. And also at the same time, Gamma reacts specifically. So when you chain block, you can play around Gamma. So yeah, and even when you drag down, right? And you look at your opponent's hand, let's say for example they have, you know, a Drone Lock and a Gamma. You take the Drone Lock away from them. Now that you know Gamma is in their hand, you just basically rechange the entire strategy, right? So the way you play, you start chain blocking everything, and you're trying your hardest to bait that Gamma as much as possibly, but at the end of it, you're gonna set up your Block Dragon as Chain Link 1, and you can just drop your Block Dragon on field so none of your stuff can be destroyed in the first place. So yeah, it's really cool. But yeah, the Seraphonite plays around Gamma, and it plays around Ghost Bell, which is really cool. So yeah, that's a cool interaction. Like I was telling you, you really can play around hand traps. Speaking from experience, of course. Then we have double Gem Knight Phantom Quartz. It is correct to play this card at 2, because the second one can always put the first one back, and this deck can grind. It really can. And the beautiful thing and the beautiful reason why this deck can grind is because of this Link monster right here. Because this card can recycle your extra deck cards and your main deck cards as long as they are what? Gem Knights. So you put your Fusions back and you put back your Obsidians and your Lazulis. So you can continue getting your Prismaras out, getting out your Master Diamonds. Because don't get me wrong, when you can't FTK, you can actually summon Master Diamond, link him off or fuse with them, then use Phantom Quartz to shuffle Master Diamond back and another Gem Knight to summon Zirconia, or you can shuffle Master Diamond and a Thunder back to summon Prismara, or you can shuffle him and 2 other ones to summon Lady Brain Diamond. This is really good. So yeah, this card is the main reason why this deck is able to grind, and he's another way that you can win. But there's also games when you can just win without even resolving his effect. Sometimes when I have the resources, I summon him but don't search, and then I'll use his effect to fuse later. Because like at that point, like it just gives them that window of opportunity where if they have the correct hand trap, you get into your combo sequence where you can start chain blocking, get the Block Dragon on the field, and then stuff like that can be played around. And you also get stuff like your call buys, your drag downs, because you can draw stuff off of your Skull Dread and your Nightmares, which is really cool. And speaking of, we play Skull Dread. Another way for me to chain block, I normally, if I don't have the interaction with Zirconia for Block Dragon's Resolution, I'll just link in a Skull Dread and make his effect to draw 4 Chain Link 2. I know it's crazy to make that Chain Link 2, but Block Dragon is more important than drawing 4 cards. Then we have Curios, we have Unicorn, the way that you shuffle back your Master Diamond and resummon him again. We have Binary. It's better than Proxy because it's an Earth and it has better applications going first and second. Has effects that you can actually use. And your boards are always protected from destruction because of Block Dragon. So Proxy it's pretty sucky. Then the Link Spider. Because for your bad hands, when you just have like a Rescue Rabbit and some really, really dead cards, you end up doing this. You fuse into this under him using Prismara, using Tourmaline. Tourmaline gets special summon. You link Tourmaline into Link Spider. What is that? Earth Cyberse, Earth Rock, Earth Thunder. All different types, right? Link those all away. You go into your Curios. You dump your Block Dragon. You win the duel. And that concludes the deck profile, you guys. I went pretty in-depth. There's a lot of people have asked. Some people have even said that, no, this deck is not that good, bro. Or, no, you can't do that. Or, no, you can't do that. Or, no, you're incorrect. So I wanted to go really in-depth and also speak from experience and factual statistics. Because I feel that sometimes you have to play the deck first before you can even, give it a rating. Or before you can even, down talk it, speak good or bad about it. You have to play the deck. And you can't just play it one time. You have to play it for a long time. I played Gem Knight since they came out in Hidden Arsenal. But I've also been running the FTK route for actually, how long? Since Phantom Quartz first came out, I was running the FTK route. And even before, I was always using Lapis Lazuli for that burn. And that was when I was playing the Rock Stun variant with Kawaki Maros and the Berry Statue. And I was resolving Block Dragon and using Firewall to special summon my Berry Statue. And my ending boards were always, this was when Firewall was at 3, by the way. My ending boards off of a simple 2- and 3-card combo that I've shown in videos and proved in my videos, if you guys want to watch it, was a triple Firewall, a Trigate with all of them pointing to him, Coling by 3, and then Baguska, and then Berry Statue of Earth. This was before Goki format, obviously, but the Berry Statue of Earth was powerful. Baguska was already locking him out. The Firewall pointing upwards still had a bounce, and then the Trigate had a negate. It was a powerful board, and if you have enough Earths in your grave, you can summon Block Dragon out and then protect your Berry Statue, which is really good, and give yourself a follow-up. But yeah, that's it for this video. Next up, I have a lot of spice for you guys. So I have Invoked Metaphys Thunder Dragons. That's a whole deck. That's one deck. That's a snack, right? We have Counter Fairies, okay? We have Lair of Darkness. We have Worms. And I think that's going to be it for tonight. But yeah, I'm grinding, you guys. I really am. I'm grinding. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Don't do drugs. And you folks have a beautiful day, okay? Peace.